maybe not even so much the normal hires, I'm going to call them. I kind of wanted to dig in and get your take on Houston and Jacksonville. And I think Jacksonville kind of lucked their way into maybe a halfway decent hire. I don't know if I'm a Peterson guy, but I'm really, really unsure of what Houston was doing for like a month.
Honestly, what I think Houston did, I think Houston fired David Culley with the full intention of hiring Josh McCown. And then when Brian Flores got fired and sued the Dolphins for, racial discrimination in the hiring, and the NFL for racial discrimination in the hiring practices, the Texans were like, holy crap. If we fire David Culley and hire Josh McCown, who has zero NFL coaching experience, has been like a head coach of a high school team, we are going to get absolutely roasted. And and what is the benefit of hiring McCown now when you can easily hire him in like 2 years, right? Or 3 years. And so then I think they were like, shit. Somebody in that boardroom was like, shit, can we just hire David Culley back? And they were like, and someone was like, no, we can't do that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They're like, okay, what about Lovie Smith?
Smith.
And Lovie's willing to do it because, NFL head coaches rarely get a third shot. Black NFL head coaches almost never get a third shot at coaching as a head coach of a team. And so he knows that this is basically just this team screwed up. He's got an opportunity to get that head coaching job. Huge bump in pay. Maybe he can, win it. If he wins 6 to 8 games, he'll look like a genius.
That's
I personally don't. Yeah, hell no.
Over 2 years, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I said repeatedly, I pointed out the Lovie Smith quote and I tweeted it out. At Illinois, he complained that he could not keep his base defense on the field because college defenses ran too much spread. And so he's like desperate to keep 3 linebackers in cover 2, Tampa 2 on the field against NFL offenses. He's going to get absolutely shredded. I mean, their defense was terrible. To me, this is we screwed up and fired David Culley, and then basically the only move was to hire Lovie Smith. So
yeah.
And Jacksonville too. There was a moment there where I was thinking, I didn't tweet this because it's a lunatic tweet, but I was thinking, I'm like, well, I wish like coaching searches or coaching hires could be like high school relationships where it's just like, you know what, we messed up. We have no better options, and prom is in like 2 weeks. Let's just take Urban back. I'm getting back with Urban because like it felt like, man, Jacksonville was down to like the head coach who never punts from high school and like 2 other guys. Like they had nothing left, and I can't believe they pulled that out in the end and got someone with experience. Honestly,
the really disappointing thing, I like the Doug Peterson hire for Jacksonville because it's a hire like he made Carson Wentz look like an MVP, and maybe it was Frank Reich doing it, and he won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. Again, maybe you put as much as you want on Frank Reich,
but he was a part of it.
For sure. I'm just saying, like, that's what people like to do with the Reich stuff. I think you have to give Doug Peterson credit. Plus, Doug Peterson hired Frank Reich. So, like, how much can you take away? And Trevor Lawrence flashed a lot in his rookie season, but he was also terrible for the most part and extremely disappointing relative to what we expected from him. Now, you go from Clemson and all the stuff that's around you and playing in the dog shit ACC to going and playing in, oh my God, dude, like Urban said, you got to play Alabama every week. It's crazy. It's like, what's the NFL, bro? Like, how are you caught off guard? He's like, dude, these practices, you can't even get the reps out there. It's like, dude, these rules are all written down and available for reading by you ahead of time before you accept this position. But Peterson is like a steady hand who should do a good job developing Trevor Lawrence. The concern that the thing that sucks is I really wanted to see the Jaguars can Trent Baalke, who they just are refusing to get rid of. And because Byron Leftwich interviewed, and Leftwich, former first-round pick by the Jaguars, really well thought of coordinator. There are some. I think there's still some concerns, like there are with anybody who's becoming a head coach, like for the first time. Like you just don't know how they're going to be as a head coach. But Leftwich was adamant that he wanted to bring in Adrian Wilson, the former NC State safety, who's a rock star personnel guy, like who shot up the ranks of the front office. He wanted to bring in Adrian Wilson as his GM, and the only way he'd do it was if they got rid of Baalke. and they simply refuse to do it, which is crazy.